Hey! Hey you! Guess what? VTuber debuts are a scam.
Hi, my name is Riao, and welcome to Vent Tea, where I like to spill the tea about subjects that are interesting to me. Small disclaimer, this is all my opinion. I'm allowed to have it, my therapist said so. VTuber debuts are a scam. And I say this as someone who just quote-unquote had a successful debut. So I'm aware of just how much of a scam they actually are. So what makes this a scam? Well, it's pretty simple. It's the perception of what a debut should have and what it will get you if you have a successful one. When you think of a VTuber debut, what comes to mind? Let's just stick to a basic list of what most people see during a debut. You're going to see a new model, a model reveal graphic, new overlay screens, new starting soon or ending screens, new alerts, new emotes, new alert sounds, new Twitch panels, a lore video, debut teasers, graphics for a subathon or donathon, and possibly merch. Unless you have a team of artists, designers, editors, and possibly even a manager locked into your basement, the time investment of building for a debut is roughly on average 6 months. Oh, and by the way, on average, all of those assets combined will cost you between $5,000 and $10,000. Okay, so why? Why is it a perception in the VTuber community that you absolutely have to have a debut? And not only a debut, but every debut has to have all of these assets. It's idol culture and bigger VTubers. I know what you're thinking before you jump down my throat with that,
Riao, you just hate bigger VTubers cause you're jealous, so you're gonna blame them for all of this.
No. They worked hard to get where they are, and they have the budget and contacts for those large debuts. They also already have an audience pre-built, so they usually have most of what they're gonna get on the back end of a debut. The problem is there is a perception and expectation that every VTuber debut must include this list, if not more, no matter the size of the audience or the size of the wallet. What's worse is there's some hidden thought out there that if you have all of these items on a debut, you'll instantly become a successful content creator. Yeah, I'm looking at you.
I've never streamed a day in my life, and I'm gonna have a debut with a VTuber model that just wiped out my savings account because I have a dance animation, 3 outfits, 17 toggles, a controller animation, and a tongue rig, and I'm only gonna use 2 of those things.
Minor pet peeve. Anyways, the other scammy bit about debuts is the actual debut cycle. So the cycle is when you debut, you take the money from that debut and you put it forwards towards another debut. So that in that 6-month time period, you'll have another debut, and then you'll rinse and repeat, and you'll keep putting the money from the previous debut into the next debut. And that, so maybe, eventually, you'll break even. So, let's review. There's a perception that you have to have a debut. There's a perception that a debut has to have all of these items, if not more. These items are expensive as fuck. There's a notion that by doing all of these things, you will gain money, fame, and followers. And in order to keep getting money, fame, and followers, you need to continue doing debuts with more models, more toggles, more dance animations, more merch, all of that stuff. Stop. Cease. Desist. Enough. I can promise you, if you're already an established streamer, you don't need to do a debut. And if you're not an established streamer, have you tried streaming yet? More than one time? Maybe try that before investing 5 to 10 grand into a debut. So, I was always taught that if you're going to present a problem, you also need to present the solution. What's the solution instead of doing a debut? Don't do the gigantic debut. Do smaller celebrations and release the assets that you can get when you can afford them. Maybe combine a release of assets with things like an anniversary or a birthday or things like that instead of just having a single debut. But here's the big thing, and this is something that I almost fell into the trap of. Don't allow yourself to think that just because you don't have all of these assets, that your celebration isn't going to be something to remember. Don't allow yourself to feel bad because you can't afford or justify every single asset on this list. Don't fall for the scam that the perception of debuts have perpetuated upon the VTuber community. Celebrate those mini victories. You just got that new controller asset? Celebrate it. You probably paid a good deal of money for it, and that money may have been donated via chat, so celebrate it with them as soon as you get it if you feel like it. This isn't going to apply to everybody. If you have the money and the assets, do a debut if you want to. But I know that this has put a lot of my community through hell, and I'm not talking my personal community, I'm talking my colleagues within the VTuber community that are close to me, that they've always been stressed about it. I was stressed about it. So here's my solution is just don't fall for it. Save those bigger celebrations and those full-on debuts for when it's feasible for you and your community. I'm Riao. This has been Vent T. Oh, could all of my artists and designers please not come for my throat? I still want to pay you. I still want to give you a lot of money. It's fine. It's fine.